Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Mozambique for the first stop on his four-nation visit to Africa. He is hoping to strengthen cooperation and boost cultural ties with several countries on the continent. The Prime Minister is set to meet with Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi, as well as interact with members of Maputo's Indian community. He is the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Mozambique in 34 years. Modi will leave for South Africa later on Thursday. And we're now joined by Shweta Bajaj, who's standing by in New Delhi for us. Shweta, India's Prime Minister Modi's Africa tour starts with Mozambique. Tell us more about his itinerary.
Well, like you mentioned, his trip has already started with Mozambique. In fact, news coming in that India has signed a deal with Mozambique for the kind of shortage India faces of the supply of pulses. So that's where it started. This will be followed by that visit to South Africa, which will be later followed. South Africa itself, his visit will span across Pretoria, Johannesburg, Durban and Pietermaritzburg. Now remember, a number of these places are also to show India's soft power. So he would be actually going to show the kind of relationship India has had with South Africa because of Mahatma Gandhi. He would also be paying a tribute to Nelson Mandela there in South Africa. After which he would be going to Tanzania, meeting the head of the states, and after which he comes to Nairobi in Kenya for that last leg of his visit. Extremely important visit as far as India is concerned. There has been a change in India's geopolitical and diplomatic ties with Africa since Narendra Modi came to power a little over 2 years back. There has been a constant effort to have contact with African nations, including the fact that there was a massive summit which was organized by India here called the India-Africa Summit last year, which saw a huge attendance from the African countries. And Narendra Modi wants to have better trade relations, better people-to-people contact, and this time around he's making an aggressive push for that.
Well, Shweta, you do mention that there has been a change in India's geopolitical relations with Africa in the past couple of years, and Africa has become important for India on many aspects, especially in trade. Could you tell us more on what is on the Prime Minister's agenda?
Well, as far as Narendra Modi is concerned, before he left, he made it pretty clear that this visit is about having better cooperation with the nations. But if you look at what experts are saying, that this particular visit is really about trade and investment. There are many areas where India would like to collaborate with African nations. This includes mining, this includes pharma. Also, many Indian companies which are already present in African nations would like to have a larger presence there. Remember, a large part of the growth that is coming from the world is coming from the African nations. As far as Asia is concerned, India understands very well that at some point in time there would be some sort of stagnation that will start happening in Asian nations. India needs to have better trade relations with Africa. So that's the area that you are looking at saying. Also, Narendra Modi is behind the Make in India, really the entire policy and making India a manufacturing hub is concerned. So India wants African companies to actually set shop here in India, which includes manufacturing hub, which is across sectors, whether it is smaller sectors, which includes textile, or bigger sectors, which includes pharma. It's a whole gamut of operation really, and sectors that India is looking at collaborating with. But also extremely important becomes countries like Tanzania, where India is trying to have a larger say in the Indian Ocean belt, and Tanzania holds a very important position as far as that is concerned. So there's one angle of having better economic and trade ties that remains top on agenda, but even geopolitically, African nations form a very important part of India's own diplomatic relations.
Right, Shweta Bajaj for us there in Delhi.